Okay, so this is for my project 2020. It's how small changes to an engine can make more power. And so one of the things that was a big deal is a lot of these engines came with fuel injection, which is all electronic, and it's really just complicated and heavy, more complicated than it needs to be. And a lot of people switch over to a carburetor, which this one's all stuck up, or else I'll show you, but these butterflies down here open up, and you can see the little squirters here spray fuel down in there, and it all gets mixed up with air. So that's your air-fuel mixture ratio. And you can tune these with jets to make it run better. And if you swap over the carburetor, you need to get a different intake. So here's a different intake it's all different, so it flows better, and it's just better overall. So you can see this is all open, and it's really shiny, so that's at least 10 horsepower extra. So get that out of my way. And then so you can't really see, let me grab this camshaft here, but there's a camshaft that sits down here, right underneath here. And I believe this engine has a stock camshaft, but you can change them out to have different lift and duration. So what the cam does is it pushes these push rods up and down through a lifter, which is basically, it's like a chunk of metal that's round. And you can get a flat tappet lifter, or you can get a roller lifter. The flat tappet's basically like it's just a piece of metal. And the roller's a piece of metal with a roller on it, basically. There's only that way to explain it. And then you can get different ratio rockers too, just for better whatever. And another thing you can do is get heads, and that's not very cheap. So but that makes a big difference. And what a head basically does is it lets fuel and air in there at the right time whenever you want it. And a cheap mod, like a really cheap mod, would be a header. And this is way lighter than stock. And it's also prettier than stock. And they flow better. It's just better all around. So I think that's okay. You can get a different distributor too. And what a distributor does, it sticks right down into this hole, and there's a gear on this camshaft right here that would spin it. And you can get a better one from stock, which the fuel injection one, you have to get a different one, I believe. So I have an HEI distributor, so it'll just be better, and it times all your stuff. One thing you can do is these fuel injection from the factory, they kind of suck. They really suck. But you can get a different kind of fuel injection that will bolt right up to this intake that works miraculously better. You can also get so that would be like a carburetor, like this style, or they make some that's just a throttle body that you open and close through. It's like a giant valve, and then there's injectors that go into each one of these, one in each one, through a fuel rail, and that's a lot more efficient, and that's how a lot of new cars are. So like my dad's truck, it's got that on it because we put a motor out of a 05 Chevy. I think it's a 5.3, so it's a LS based, but it's still a small block. So that's it for me.